Hello, good evening. I hope you're all having a lovely Saturday, and we're looking forward to the second T20 international between India and England. The first one, India won emphatically by 50 runs, and that wasn't even India's best 11, or so they say. Now they've got a full squad to choose from. What will India do today? Will they maintain the continuity? Will they go with the winning combination, or will they get all their top players back into the squad? Back into the playing 11 to try to seal this series. Nikhil Narayan is here with me. We'll talk about what we can expect from the game today. But India would be buoyant. This was needed for the Indian team after their loss in Edgbaston in the 5th and the final test. With that, they drew the series, and at one point you felt like that test match was going India's way. So the last win in the T20, the first T20I, was very, very important. Now India will look to seal the series. So Nikhil, good that the first match, not only did they win the match, it was just the way they won it. It was very emphatic, and India needed that. They needed that confidence, that vote of confidence. They got it in the last game. But the big question now, will they get back all their top players into the side, or will they try to continue with the winning combination?
Absolutely, Maya. Big win for India, as you said. You know, they tick-marked all the boxes. Batting was excellent, bowling was good, catching was a bit iffy. Catching was, they dropped a few catches, Dinesh Karthik behind the stumps, also in the outfield. But overall, good performance by India. India is the #1 team in T20I cricket. They have a great record in T20I cricket last couple of years. That World T20 notwithstanding.
Correct.
England is the #2 team. And actually, England is the team which has, set the benchmark for how T20 cricket is played today in the world. They started a transformation after the 2015 World Cup debacle. So India thrashing them by 50 runs, good start, but they would want to seal this series today. Bit of a balm on what happened in Birmingham. Today's match is in Birmingham.
Yes.
Some of those players won't have happy memories. So India would look to seal the series, put the disappointment behind. What I'm looking forward to today, Maya, more than anything else, is whether India continue that template of attack in the power play and the middle overs,
Correct,
which happened in Southampton.
And why do I get the feeling that India will want to do that, given this is exactly what Rohit Sharma has said since the time he took over? He says there's a specific approach we want to have in our cricket, and we've seen that with this Indian batting, just going all the way from the first ball. We've seen strike rate being now very important for them, and I think that is the way forward for T20 cricket. For all of you who are watching us right now, what are your thoughts on how India are approaching the game? Do you believe that's the way forward? We've seen what England have done with Test cricket, we've seen what England have done with their white ball cricket as well. Also, the big question now is about some of the players, because India now have problem of plenty.
Absolutely.
Too many good players who've done well in the IPL, who've done in white ball format. Now, as we look ahead to this World Cup preparations, Nikhil, there are three things today that India will, and in this series and going forward in this series, as well as the series coming up after that. One is the World Cup preparation. So you are trying to figure out who your core team would be. Second is you want to win this series, right? That's an important thing.
Yep.
And third is you also want to maintain that aggressive style of play.
Correct.
So three things have to go together, and they have to figure out what their winning combination is.
Absolutely, and all three things are interconnected, because if they don't maintain this style of aggressive style of play, I mean, it will be a problem for them, as they saw in the World T20 last year. England and now even Australia has adopted this very aggressive style of T20, batting, the top 6 going all out. Actually, it's a very, calculated way, because unlike in ODI cricket, whether in ODI cricket, if you play like this, you will be bowled out for 30 overs. But in T20 cricket, because it's only 20 overs, you can go all out. The West Indies is, for this reason, has won 2 World T20s, for this reason. And it is the same reason why they don't do well in ODIs. They can't sustain this over a 50-over period. So India would want to win this series, but as you said, also try this all-out attacking template, because otherwise they cannot go back to the old formula of scoring 36 to 40 runs in the first 6 overs. It won't work. There are flat tracks all over the world in T20 cricket now. 180 is par now. So
okay. Absolutely. So now, for all of you who are watching us, put in your comments in the comment section below as to what do you think India will look to do. Also, Virat Kohli, is he in if today you were to make a team for the T20 World Cup coming up later this year, will Virat Kohli be in your team? Who will you have the heart to get Deepak Hooda to sit out? Because we'll put out those numbers for you and we'll show you how good Deepak Hooda has been. But just India aiming for series win, and those graphics are going to come up on your screens. You can take a look at that on India beating England 2-1 in 2018, and they would look to do this today. This is important also because India did not win the test series. This gets so much more important, right, Nikhil? Also in a year where you have the World Cup, there's a psychological advantage. We were in England, we beat England in England in a T20I series in the year that we would want to win the World Cup as well. So victory, of course, will ensure that India remain the #1 T20 side. But now, yes, they've thrashed hosts by 50 runs in Southampton as well. And how incredible was that to watch? I mean, Indian bowling, to see that there was no Jasprit Bumrah. Bhuvneshwar Kumar has...
swinging the new ball, yeah.
He's back to swinging the new ball. And I think Joss Butler said this in the post-match press conference, that he has never seen a ball swing for that long in T20I, so which is great. And it is also great because the fact that the World Cup's happening in Australia, we need a good bench strength when it comes to our fast bowling. And it's nice to see Bhuvneshwar Kumar get back that swing that we've been talking about, you know, since coming back from injury. Last couple of years, things have been difficult for him, Nikhil. But now the big question, Virat Kohli replacing Deepak Hooda. I mean, how do you go? Rahul Dravid's job is so difficult from the time he's taken over. How do you go and tell Deepak Hooda, you did really well, but Virat Kohli is coming back in?
I mean, this is a very, very difficult, call to make for Rahul Dravid and for the, captain Rohit Sharma. See, Virat Kohli will play today. We all know Virat Kohli will play today.
Correct.
But should Virat Kohli play today? That is the question. On form, record, the answer simple is a no. I mean, let's not be diplomatic. The answer is no. Virat Kohli doesn't get to play at #3 based on current form. He had a terrible IPL, like his worst IPL ever. His T20I record has also diminished since 2020. His overall numbers are poor. His overall numbers are poor in T20 cricket combined since 2020. So Virat Kohli has gone down, in T20 cricket, T20Is and the IPL in the last couple of years. In the same period, Deepak Hooda, he did very well in the Syed Mushtaq Trophy, which brought him into the Indian team. The IPL, he was absolutely brilliant from the #3 and 4 position, scoring runs, playing a different role there, playing the role of a playmaker there. And for India, he's playing a different role. He's attacking from the word go. Just 4 matches for Deepak Hooda for India, but, great, the strike rate is in the 170s already, and the way he's batting. I mean, look at the way he's batting. He's confident. He's going after the fast bowlers. He's hitting them over mid-wicket covers. I mean, this is a man in form. And to replace him just because, Virat Kohli, I mean, not just because, Virat Kohli is amongst the greatest of all time. His overall T20I record is stunning. He's if you see his overall T20I record, probably Virat Kohli is the greatest T20I batsman ever. What he did, we all remember what he did in the 2016 World T20 when we made the semis.
Correct.
But it's a tough one because Virat Kohli on current form doesn't make it. India has adopted this new template as we discussed. Virat Kohli cannot replicate that. I mean, he can replicate that template, but with this form, when he's fighting for a place in the 11, will he take those risks? All other batsmen are taking risks. They are scoring cameos and getting out. So that now what India wants is runs, maximizing runs at the cost of losing wickets. Can Virat Kohli do that? I'm not sure.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one, and I think this will only get tougher for Rahul Dravid and the team management, because Virat Kohli needs to get runs. I mean, now we've got to a point where, people have said whatever they wanted to say. They've said he needs to take a break. They've said, but you also saw this very excited, energetic Virat Kohli during the Edgbaston test, and you're like, no, there is no way you wouldn't want to keep him out of the action. You don't want to do that to Virat Kohli. He loves the game and he wants to be in the middle of it all. But having said that, Virat Kohli right now, with the way India A team is doing versus India B team, I feel like India B team are doing a great job. So, difficult one. Though, I mean, is there any other way where you have Virat Kohli in as well and you you get Deepak Hooda down the order?
I mean, there is a way, but that's a temporary solution. The way is to open with Virat Kohli. Ishan Kishan, makes way for Virat Kohli. Rohit opens with Virat in this match, in this series. But KL Rahul will return. So what happens then?
Yeah.
So that is the problem. But in this match, yes, Virat Kohli actually did brilliantly as an opener for RCB. If you remember 2016, that record still stands, 973. Josh Butler came close but couldn't break it. But that is the only way he can sort of reinvent himself. But what happens then when KL Rahul comes back? So that is a big problem. So I don't know what they'll do. It's unfair for Deepak Hooda. I don't think Virat Kohli should bat at number 3, but I also know Virat Kohli will bat at number 3 in Birmingham today.
Okay, then the other big question is between Rishabh Pant and Dinesh Karthik. Rishabh Pant, the red ball cricketer, is a different beast altogether when you compare Rishabh Pant, the white ball cricketer. And keeping that in mind now, Rishabh Pant, and I know a lot of people who would want Rishabh Pant back into the squad will think about the brilliant performance from the Edgbaston Test. But in T20Is, Rishabh Pant right now in place of Dinesh Karthik, how do you see that?
Absolutely no. Point blank, I'm saying no. The numbers say no. See, yes, in Test cricket, Rishabh Pant is a potential all-time great. I mean, I'm using the words carefully. A potential all-time great. He can be as good as Gilchrist was by the end of his career. He's already played 6 to 7 match-changing innings. But if you see, just see Rishabh Pant's stats in T20Is, I mean, average of 23 and strike rate of 124.
Yeah.
For Rishabh Pant, who comes lower down, 5, 6, 7, mostly in his career, 124 is shocking.
Yeah.
I mean, 140 is par. 124 is shocking for T20Is for Rishabh Pant. So, also, he had a decent IPL, but not a great. In the IPL in the past 1 or 2 seasons, he's done really well. So it's not that Rishabh Pant doesn't know how to play the T20 format, but his recent form in the IPL hasn't been that good. Also, his T20, he hasn't played not even one solitary match-changing knock or defining knock for India in T20I cricket in his, short T20I career.
Correct.
So, in South Africa series, it's 58 runs, strike rate of 105. I mean, he was poor. Dinesh Karthik, we all know what he did for RCB in the IPL. When the big 3 failed, he was the one. Difficult situations came and changed the matches. 6 to 7 high-impact performances, strike rate of 220 in the death. Overall, his strike rate for India also is 196 in T20I cricket in the death over. So Dinesh Karthik, how can you replace Dinesh Karthik when you've just, this is a part of the new template. Dinesh Karthik is, a specialist you are choosing in the death overs, in overs between overs 17 to 20. Now you just drop him to get Pant. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I know the hope is that Pant will replicate his Test success in the T20I format, but it's unfair and you're unsettling the team. India now needs to have a settled 11, settled 12 for the World T20. And I don't see Rishabh Pant being a part of the 11. You cannot just based on his overall talent take that call. It is not right. Dinesh Karthik is doing a fine job. How can you remove him from the 11? How can you?
I guess I think the question that then comes down to is because Rishabh Pant is such a crucial part and has been such a crucial part of this whole core team. I mean, there was a time not long ago when Rishabh Pant was the first player. If you had to write the first player on the team list, Rishabh Pant would have been your first player at all 3 formats. So I think it's a little difficult. It's a difficult call for for the team management as well as for Rahul Dravid. But how from the time Rahul Dravid has taken over, there are a lot of things haven't gone right for the Indian team. I mean, you've got 7 to 8 different captains. Saurav Ganguly, the president himself, has now said that it's not ideal, but sometimes things don't go your way. But that stability at the top, Nikhil, and we've spoken about this as well. When you're trying to have this vision for your team, right? You want stability in terms of not just your coach, but your captain as well. Who decides what is it that you want to do with the team? You decide with your captain and your coach. But right now, we're in a situation where your captain hasn't played enough as much as he should have. COVID, injury, rest. You've got different captains. I feel like at this point, if India needs to find a way forward for the T20 World Cup, they need to just get together, figure out what their core is, their senior players, just put a plan in place and then have that team play a lot of their matches together.
Absolutely. They need a core of 14 to 15 and the 11 needs to be more or less decided. I mean, there can be a few changes. For that, Rahul Dravid and Rohit Sharma need to have, I mean, they would have an idea who the 11 is. Maybe they don't actually. I mean, if they can replace Dinesh Karthik and Deepak Hooda with Virat Kohli and Rishabh Pant just on the basis of the stature of those two players.
Correct.
And their past record, so they don't know what their best 11 is. So it is a bit of a problem. Rohit Sharma's COVID and he was rested for a few matches also. India not doing well in Birmingham with a different captain, the 2-all series where Rishabh Pant led India, then the South Africa debacle. It's been a little bit of a tough patch. But the positive is this. Since Rohit Sharma took over Meha in November last year in the T20I series against New Zealand, his record is 15-0. Rohit Sharma, the captain, has a 15-0 record for India. I think there are 2 tests, 3 ODIs, 10 T20Is. So that is the positive for India for now. Forget everything else. Forget Hardik Pandya's success for Gujarat Titans. Rohit Sharma is your captain for the foreseeable future, at least till the 2023 World Cup in India, which is in October, November next year. So Rohit Sharma is your captain for the next 1.5 years. And everything, Rohit and Rahul need to decide everything for India across the 3 formats. That is the way forward.
Fine. Rohit Sharma is your captain. He's done well from the time he's taken over. Great. All of that is fine. Why would you then put Shikhar Dhawan, the captain, why would you make him the captain in the ODI series for West Indies? I mean, it makes no sense to me. Rohit Sharma has just come back from COVID. He's already got the rest that he wanted. I'm just saying, you've got your top players sitting out of that series. Why is that team? You only become a team when you play together as a team. What do you want right now going into the World Cup? And you have 100 days left into the World Cup, 99 today. Going into the World Cup, what do you want? You want all your best players to play together so that you can be in different match situations to figure out how you should be approaching going into the World Cup. I agree with trial and testing, but how can you rest your top players? That is my question. Rishabh Pant, out of all of them, I agree should be rested because he's playing all 3 formats. I get that. But Rohit Sharma, he's played 2 test matches, 3 ODIs, and counting the last T20Is in T20I in Southampton, 10 T20Is since the time he's taken over in the last 10 months.
See, I think the rationale is this. You may agree with it or not. The rationale behind this West Indies tour squad is that the ODI World Cup is next year. So we will think about it after the T20I World Cup is over in Australia. For now, India will now play. If you see the next 5 to 6 months, I think next 2 to 3 months, India will play their best possible T20I 11 till the T20 World Cup. Then they will start playing. Then the core will come together. No, that is irrational.
No, I get it.
Because I still think they want to rotate players because again, according to the BCCI, according to Rohit Sharma, according to Dravid, India plays too many matches and they don't want to play back-to-back matches with their, with the Bumrahs, Rohit Sharmas, Kohlis, these, 5 jewels, Yuzvendra Chahals. They want to rest them, Hardik Pandyas. So therefore, for the ODI series, because the World Cup is not this year, they are giving away 5 to 6 of our main players are resting. That is the only rationale. There's no other thing.
Okay. So now tell me, what if Shikhar Dhawan ends up scoring 300s in Port of Spain in the 3 ODIs? Or forget 300, 200s, 100 and 250s. What are you going to do then? Is Shikhar Dhawan in your scheme of things going into the ODI World Cup next year?
Yes, I think he's in the scheme of things as a reserve opener.
Okay. And did Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli need rest at this point when they were going to play in the West Indies? I mean, I think Virat Kohli, they've said he needed rest. The other thing being that the selection committee, as they've done in the recent times, is that they don't come up with a press conference. They don't put it out as to why. I mean, these questions need to be answered. People need to be told why exactly are they resting these players? What is the motive behind it? What are they trying to do? So that people stop speculating or figuring out what is going on. Because right now, the way it is, I would think that there are too many changes. There are too many players. You really haven't come down to what your core squad is, and hopefully they will. I mean, we're hoping that they will. But just coming back to this match now, So you very clearly said Dinesh Karthik in place of Rishabh Pant. Rishabh Pant does not have a place in the side. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you think that Dinesh Karthik is should be in the side today? There are comments. RL saying we need better leadership. Also, Ria asking what time the match will start. The match is going to start at 7 o'clock. We've made sure that it's a day game, day T20I in Edgbaston for all the Indian fans, so that it doesn't go late into the night. But now, the other thing being this aggressive approach. And I'm excited about this, Nikhil, because we've seen what England did when they won the World Cup. This is the way forward. And that's why I feel that a lot of these players, and we saw that in the last time, it was refreshing to see just the way they went about batting without a care in the world. Everybody who came out wanted to just hit from the first ball. That is the right method right now, and that is the method they are going to follow. It's very clear.
Absolutely. And you know, when Rohit Sharma took over as full-time captain, I remember since in the New Zealand series in November last year, he was the one who started, who initiated this, you know, all-out aggressive approach. And if you see India's net run rate in the New Zealand series, you have it on the screen, it was 9.44. And since then, it's been around the 8.5 mark. It's been in the 17 T20Is India has played since then. It is around 8.7 in the power play. They scored 66 in the first match in the 6 overs, going all out at the cost of losing wickets.
Okay, sorry, I'll just have to stop you there. Toss time, and England have won the toss and they have opted to field. That is the news from Birmingham. England have won the toss and have opted to field. England also, they've started this new thing of chasing. They're doing that in Test cricket. They're doing that now in T20Is as well. But they won the toss and they've opted to field. Let me also then take you through the playing 11 for India before we go any further. Okay, Rohit Sharma captain, Virat Kohli, Suryakumar Yadav, Rishabh Pant, Hardik Pandya, Dinesh Karthik. So Rishabh and Dinesh there. There is Harshal Patel, Ravindra Jadeja, Bhuvneshwar Kumar. So Akshar Patel goes out, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Jasprit Bumrah, and Yuzvendra Chahal and Ishan Kishan goes out.
Interesting.
Interesting. So for all of you who are joining us right now, before I go any further, the team that India are playing in, the 11 that India are playing in Edgbaston, there is no Ishan Kishan. So Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, who's going to open with Rohit Sharma? That's one interesting thing. Sunil Gavaskar suggested some days back that Rishabh Pant should open. Will it be him, or will they go the IPL way and Virat Kohli will open for them? Then there is Suryakumar Yadav, Rishabh Pant, Hardik Pandya, Dinesh Karthik, Ravindra Jadeja, Harshal Patel, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Jasprit Bumrah is in as well, and Yuzvendra Chahal.
So they've got their two favourites back, Pant and Kohli, at the cost of
Bumrah.
Kishan. Yeah, and Bumrah. At the cost of Kishan is out, Deepak Hooda is out. So Deepak Hooda misses out, right?
Yes.
It had to happen. I mean, Ishan I expected, but Deepak Hooda I was still hoping, you know, somehow is fitted into the 11. But you know, Bumrah had to be back. I mean, so.
Okay, so this is what Rohit Sharma said at the toss for all of you. He said we would have batted first. Looks like a good pitch. It has been used before for the blast game. They had the Vitality blast game, so it had been used there. We just need to adjust quickly and adapt our game. We have 4 changes. Kohli, Jadeja, Bumrah are back. We have one more change. These guys are one of the best in the team. We want to back our game in Southampton. We want to be fearless, but we need to play according to the situation.
I mean, on expected lines, I'm getting a feeling Virat Kohli is opening.
Yeah.
Why
else is Ishan Kishan not playing?
Yeah, I mean, Virat Kohli.
I mean, you have a choice between Rishabh Pant and Ishan.
Or Rishabh Pant is open. I mean, that could be a very interesting...
A left-right choice?
Yeah, I mean, interesting choice, because you also get a left and right... I mean, Rishabh Pant can, you know, be devastating in the power play. They have nothing to lose, and they already have a hitter in Dinesh Karthik in the lower order. You have Hardik Pandya also, Ravindra Jadeja also. So you don't really need Rishabh Pant in the lower order. So, I mean, it could do wonders. I mean, we've seen a lot of people who've been promoted up the order, you know, who were earlier middle order batsmen, how their careers change.
Yeah.
Virendra Sehwag, Rohit Sharma, to name 2 big players from India. But I think, you know, it's either Virat or Rishabh. I'm going to, I can't say. I think I'm 50-50. I don't know who's going to
What
open.
do you think? Let's find out from our viewers. What do they think? Do they think that Virat Kohli will open today? Because there is no Ishan Kishan. Who is going to open with Rohit Sharma? That's the big question. Or will it be Rishabh Pant? I mean, and you know, my only problem with this, I know they are just trying and testing this. My only problem with this is that whoever opens today, if that opener ends up scoring runs today, what do you do when your opener comes back? And then what are you telling Ishan Kishan? Where does he go? Because he is pretty much your backup opener.
Reserve opener, yeah.
And the other thing being that Rahul Dravid is very clear in these roles for each and every player. So how does this whole pan out for you, Nikhil?
See, I think he's clear for most of the people in the 11, but Rishabh Pant, he's still not clear because there's a problem with Rishabh Pant's T20I career. So if Rishabh Pant is opening and he succeeds, you know, KL Rahul might drop, you know, in the middle order. I mean, that they'll have to be flexible with KL Rahul. KL Rahul has to play in the 11. Too good a batsman not to play in the 11. So KL Rahul, you know, plays at number 5 for India now in ODI cricket, where he's done really well. He can similarly, he has the game to bat lower in the order in the T20I team too. So Rishabh, but I think the thing is the Indian team recognizes Rishabh Pant is this, you know, phenomenal talent, and they somehow they want to maximize that. I don't blame them. Rishabh Pant is an exceptional talent, so they need to have him in the 11. So this is, I think this is the last chance for Rishabh Pant for this World Cup. If he succeeds, if he's opening, if he succeeds, great. If he does not, then I don't think, you know, he'll be part of the 11.
Okay, now the other change is Akshar Patel. He sits out and Ravindra Jadeja is back again. The heroics from Edgbaston, making sure that Ravindra Jadeja walks back into the playing 11. But how has Ravindra Jadeja done, Nikhil? With the bat, he's been very good in all three formats. We've seen him. He's excellent. But with the ball, Ravindra Jadeja, how has he been for India?
I mean, his numbers with the ball, his bowling strike rate and economy rate has gone down slightly in the last couple of years. The wicket taking is not much of a concern because that's not his job in the middle overs. But the economy rate rising, you know, to 7.5, 8 in the last couple of years in T20s cricket, in IPL and internationals is a problem for India because Jadeja is a master restrictor. So is Akshar Patel. Akshar Patel may not have had a great season this season, but he was Delhi Capital's unsung hero last season.
Correct.
So, you know, but I think this is expected. Jadeja is just better than Akshar Patel. I mean, he does everything what Akshar Patel does, but 30% better across formats. That is the way it is. I mean, similar bowler, a better hitter. So it's not surprising. And Jadeja might have had, you know, his worst IPL with the bat. But Jadeja, we all know what he did. You know, his batting has transformed across formats since 2018. So Jadeja, I mean, Jadeja is also almost a certainty in this 11.
Also, I don't know if for all the viewers, the other news is that, which is completely off the field, is Ravindra Jadeja has deleted any traces of him being involved with CSK or from Instagram, from Twitter, from social media. You know, people are obviously seeing this as Ravindra Jadeja probably leaving CSK next season, doesn't want to have anything to do with them, or that he's upset in the way he was treated by CSK. But that's the other story that I was reading about, how he has removed all his posts which had anything to do with CSK from Instagram and social media. But on the field, Ravindra Jadeja is doing what he is best at doing. We saw what he did in the Edgbaston test, and now he walks back into the playing 11. But for all of you who are joining us now, England have won the toss and they have opted to field first. Rohit Sharma was very happy. He said, we would have batted first. We would have liked to bat first. So, you know, good toss to lose for the Indian captain. But the other thing was that after the win in Southampton, would India have continued with that winning combination, or would they have gone for their top players? Well, India have gone for their top players. There are 4 changes in the side. There is, of course, Virat Kohli, who comes back. Ishan Kishan, he sits out, which means we're going to have somebody else opening with Rohit Sharma today. There is Rishabh Pant back into the side. Akshar Patel sits out. Ravindra Jadeja is back. Deepak Hooda, the centurion from Ireland, who's been in tremendous form, striking at 150 plus throughout this year. He is not playing this game. And yes, Rishabh Pant and Virat Kohli are in Nikhil.
Yeah, I mean, most of the changes I expected. I was just hoping that Deepak Hooda makes it in the 11. But, you know, if you're playing both Virat and Rishabh Pant, you know, this was the only sort of way possible. Jasprit Bumrah, not surprising. I mean, he is India's primary T20 bowler. So, I mean, I just want to see whether Virat Kohli and Rishabh Pant can fit in this new aggressive template. If they can't, there is a big problem for India. They cannot be playing for their places. Both Rishabh Pant doesn't have a great T20I record. Virat Kohli has been in poor form. But they cannot play for their places. They have to go all out at the cost of, you know, sacrificing their wickets. Otherwise, I mean, not only will India not win this match, it sends out a wrong message. So Virat Kohli and Rishabh Pant, wherever they bat, they need to sort of, you know, get into this new aggressive template which the Indian team has adopted under the captaincy of Rohit Sharma since November last year.
Because there is no role for an anchor in this. You only need aggressor, enforcer.
Unless you lose all the wickets.
Unless you lose completely, you lose a lot of wickets. The way they want this is that they want to take it forward with everybody striking at 150 plus. I
mean, that is the way forward. I mean, otherwise teams like England, in the, you know, if you play 10 matches with them, they will sort of, you know, they'll chase down 180, 185 with ease. You need that cushion of extra 20, 205, 210 with teams like England, even Australia. That is, I mean, the way England bats, I mean, they have completely transformed the limited overs game since 2016. Some of the scores they have put, I mean, 350 plus regularly in ODIs, 200 plus regularly in T20Is. India needs to catch up, and this is the way, I mean, this is the only way forward. And India has the batting to do it. A lot of teams can try, in fact, cannot try this approach because they don't have the talent to replicate this. India is perhaps one of the 2 or 3 teams which can replicate this, what England have done, and even beat them at their game. So why not?
Okay, so for all of you, just before we wrap this up, England have won the toss and they have opted to field first. India batting first, not a bad thing for Rohit Sharma. Has made 4 changes to that side. Virat Kohli returns, but will he open today? That's the big question. There is Rishabh Pant, who's back into the squad. Deepak Hooda, Ishan Kishan have to sit out. There is also Akshar Patel, who's out, and Ravindra Jadeja is back. Who else am I missing? So Deepak Hooda out, Ishan Kishan out, Arshdeep Singh. Arshdeep Singh, who had a brilliant debut, also sits out, and Jasprit Bumrah is back in his place. That's it then on this special. Where does Virat fit in? That question right behind us. It's still a question, because for all you know, he might open, or it might be Rishabh Pant opening for this Indian team. That's it from Nikhil and me then. I hope you enjoyed this special. Do let us know in the comment section below. What do you think? What is the position for Virat Kohli? What is the position for Rishabh Pant as well? And what are you expecting from Team India tonight? Do let us know. News9 Sports, that's what you need to subscribe to if you haven't already. We get you all the latest from sports, cricket, football, badminton, athletics, tennis, Wimbledon. We get you all the latest from sports right here on News9 Sports. Do subscribe, hit the notification button. There is a bell icon every time we go live. You'll be able to watch us. That's it from us. Goodbye. Have a happy Saturday.